Hi everybody, it is Lori Bradley and I am here in St. Louis, Missouri today, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here to show you a great suite called the Ocean Friends. Last week, if you followed along, I was on vacation. The beach is definitely my happy place. It just relaxes me and it makes me so happy. So I have been planning to do the Ocean Friends bundle and suite since the beginning of the catalog, the January to April mini catalog. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, that's perfect for summer. And then I realized, oh, this catalog is not open in the summertime. So I have to do summer in the spring, which is a little crazy. So the Ocean Friends will be the bundle for my April product base card class. You'll get 8 cards, 4 designs, 2 of each, and I will post the link to sign up for that. The in-person will be, the 22nd of April. Tuesday the 22nd will be the in-person class in St. Louis. And if you are not in St. Louis and you can't be here live, then I will ship those kits out on right after that. I always like to wait until after my ladies have made it in person. So if I have to fix something that has to go in the mail, then I like to make sure that that's taken care of. We're going to make 3 cards today, 2 of which we will probably do for the class. I haven't fully decided all of that, but I want to show you the awesome designer series paper, the gems, and especially the embossing folder that makes it very oceany. So let me flip it around here and we'll get going on our cards. The cards today, we're going to make 3. We're going to do a thank you card, a love you, and a hello friend. You could always substitute any words. If you need a birthday card, by all means, you can absolutely make a birthday card. So I'm going to start with the thanks so much card, and this was a card, it was one of the artisan design team, and I must admit I don't remember who it was, but I did switch it up just a little bit. And I have, let me show you the bundle first. The Ocean Friends bundle. It's a 2-step lobster and crab. There's some little corally type seaweedy sort of things, and some leaves and some air bubbles along with the words. There are dies that match those. And then we have the Soft Waves embossing folder, which I will show you on the paper in just a minute, but it is such a fun 3D embossing folder. It makes the ocean waves look very real, very real. And then the designer series paper. And the designer series paper is actually called Friends of the Ocean, not Ocean Friends, but it coordinates with the suite. And look, the dies will actually cut out the lobsters and the crabs. So all you have to do is lay your die on there and it'll cut it out. You don't have to stamp a thing, and you could whip out several of those. I did a card swap recently, and the maker of the particular card even cut out the edge crabs so that this little guy can be peeking in from the inside of the card so as not to waste any of those. So that's the lobsters and the crabs. And then on the back, there's just geometric shapes. There's triangles on this one. This one is a pretty wave, not sure if, kind of an ombre, orange to light pink to brighter orange. And then on the back, I did have that upside down. Looks like sunshines. They're pink, but they're very, very cute. So you don't even have to like the ocean for some of these things. They could be a great geometric. The orange triangles could be a perfect birthday card for a child or a man or a lady. It could be a perfect birthday. This one does not have anything that matches, but you could easily fancy cut with your scissors some of the little crabs in the shells or the jellyfish. Any of those. And then the back of this one, again, is a sort of a geometric pattern that you could use for any occasion. We have some underwater type things. One of my favorite things about this designer series paper is that it is bright. There's melon mambo, pumpkin pie, calypso coral, summer splash, lemon lime twist, like some of these great colors that are bright and pretty. More geometric. You'd get a little dizzy if you looked at that one too long. I think this is my favorite piece, the starfish. I think they're just so cute. If you're a scrapbooker, this is great, a great bundle, a great set of paper for scrapbook pages for the beach, that kind of thing. It's perfect. And I have plenty of crab hunting pictures from when my kids were smaller that I should probably work on that. There's even little seahorses and puffer fish. I think those are cute. And then the melon mambo squiggle. Okay, so I have die cut everything for our cards today because just to make it easier, because I had to do quite a bit. But for this card, I'm going to start with a Calypso coral card base, and I did a 4 1/4 by 11, so it's going to be a longer card. And then I die cut, and actually I kind of got that off a little bit, so this one's a little unstable, but normally it's a little longer there, but it went off the page because my paper wasn't quite big enough. But I don't need that part, it's okay. And I have, so think about this, I have 3 crabs, I have 2 pink shades and 1 orangey shade. I think I'm going to use the orange one, but if you have an opinion in just a minute, you can show me. All right, here is that Soft Waves embossing folder, how I did it on the Summer Splash. Yes, Lisa, we did hunt for sand crabs. That's a big thing at our house every single time we go to the ocean, except for spring break is kind of a little cold. They're not out so much, so it's kind of a wasted effort, but everybody loves to do it anyway. So hi Pam, yes, it is on the last chance list. It has not been discounted, but after yes, order and buy. Thank you, you are such a sales lady. It is not discounted at this point, but it is going away. So it's on the last chance list, which means that it's a gamble. If you want it really, really bad, then you should probably go ahead and order and buy and all of that stuff. Thank you, Pam. All right, so I'm going to start and I'm going to stamp some bubbles onto our lemon lime twist. I'm going to do color on color. There's 2 different bubbles. There's a 3 bubble stamp and a 2 bubble stamp, and I'm just going to randomly kind of go down this right side just for turn them around so they're not all the same. And then I'm going to do the 2 bubbles so it doesn't look like we've got all the same bubbles going on. We're going to cover up some of these so this little oops right here doesn't necessarily matter. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead, actually, let's go ahead and start assembling. I'm going to put the embossing folder piece down, the Soft Waves. I do love embossing folders. They're probably my favorite tool because you can make so many fun things. All right, so we're going to just put this right across the middle, and I cut it the right length, so it should be okay. And there's enough flat pieces on there that the regular adhesive is fine. And I'm going to just use regular adhesive on this piece also because I'm going to have other things that will hold it down. I'll be able to do it flat on each end. A lot of times if I put something over an embossing folder, I like to do dimensionals just to make sure that it sticks. But since I'm going to put adhesive on the top and the bottom of this section, then I have to turn it this way though so I can judge my distances. I just did a 5-inch piece. So it's going to be a little shorter. And so it's going to attach here flat. So that's all good. And then we can go ahead and we can put this piece down on our card front. After I cut, I realized my paper trimmer needs a new blade, so I need to get that replaced. So there's a couple of fuzzy edges that I'm not happy with. Okay, now I've die cut a stylish shape circle. The stylish shape circles, the whole stylish shapes bundle of, or not a bundle, the set of dies is probably my favorite, most used set of dies. It is sticking around in the new catalog, and it's probably because it's everybody's favorite. It's so versatile. So what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to stamp "Thanks so much" on the circle, and I'm going to put that up on the top kind of left corner. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it before I worry about where I'm going to put my lobster. It's not a lobster, it's a crab. I keep saying the wrong animal. Okay, so I'm going to put Thanks so much. Up here, the beauty of that is that it's a circle, and so if I'm a little crooked, then it doesn't matter. It's okay. Leave that open because we're going to use that again. Now I'm going to do a couple of leaves. They're not leaves. They're actually, I'm not sure what I would call these. These are like fronds of plants. We're just going to do a couple of those in the lemon lime twist. You could do stamp on, stamp off. You could do maybe a third one that's not so bright. No rhyme or reason, and no right or wrong. We're just going to go ahead and put those on there, and then we're going to add in, I call this a coral, but I don't think it is. It's just one of those plants that grows on the bottom of the ocean. Okay, and then let's go, I don't want to cover up the whole thing because our crab is going to cover part of this. That will fade. It's kind of dark right now. That Summer Splash ink is kind of dark, but we will be okay. And then I'm going to take my crab, and I think I'm going to go ahead, since my card is mostly Calypso Coral, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the Calypso Coral to attach my crab. And I'm going to just use some liquid glue, the green glue. I don't want to put any on his feet because his feet are going to hang over a little bit. So I just want to make sure I've got it on the top. And I'm going to put him on there onto the circle. Again, there's no right or wrong. And then, this is my favorite part. So this little guy, the one that I accidentally almost broke, it's normally, here, I'll show you. This is what a whole piece looks like, and I kind of cut off the bottom, so this piece isn't very stable. So that was my bad. But I knew I didn't need it because I was going to cover it up. But to figure out where I want to put it, I'm going to lay down, I just want to make sure that my weed, I'm going to call it a weed because that's how I roll. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my circle on that right, which will be the left, but it'll be on the right, so that I know where I want to put my weeds. Okay, so now they're stuck to the back of my circle, and then we'll put dimensionals on, and that will also hold it on there. I haven't even shown you the best part. The gems are so pretty. Uh-oh, where are my gems? I thought that I brought everything to the table. We might have to, we might have to not freak out because. Let's put our circle on. Like I said, the ocean is my happy place. So when I saw this, it was right up my alley. All right, so there we have our thank you card. My gems, I'm gonna keep looking here. I mean, I cleared off my table. Everybody would be so proud of me that I cleared off my table. Give me 1 second. This is why I don't clear off my table. All right, card number 1. We will come back. This is what I was going to do. There's the orange. They look kind of like bubbles. Fit right in with our bubble theme there. All right, card number 2 is a lemon lime card base, lemon lime twist card base. Now this one I did not die cut from the designer series paper. Yes, seaweed. It's seaweed. It's always weeds. Like I find flowers, they're weeds. It's all good. It's all good. I stamped and I die cut this one, but I want to show you how I did that. Grab a catalog. Cleared off my kitchen counter because that's where I was. I'm going to put a little bit of a padding underneath because this particular crab, when I stamped him, we want some padding because that helps to make our little guy solid, because a solid image on a hard table is a hard thing. So I'm going to stamp this. It's a hard thing to get the image correct. All right, So I'm going to stamp my guy. I'm going to show you how I did it, but I'm not going to actually go through the die cutting because I've already done that. You don't have to wait on one more thing. It's very irritating that my gems are somewhere. All right, so there is that's the peach pie. Now, again, that's going to go down and it's going to be as light as this one. So no worries on the color. It's just more vibrant right this minute. And now we're going to stamp the crab in Calypso Coral. This one is actually pumpkin pie, and you'll be able to tell the difference. But I think I'm going to go Calypso Coral for this one. And I'm going to have to stand up. But it goes right over the top. Hopefully I get this right because I'm not exactly over it. A little off. And we will stamp that. There we go. So we have our guy. I'm going to set that aside so you can see how the colors fade just a little bit. But I already have my guy cut here, so we can move on. But I just want to show you how I stamp that, and then the die will cut that out. You can see where I die cut that there. Okay. I think my gems, I'm going to blame Matt. Matt must have taken them. I'm sure that's it. All right. Now, I've got my seaweed, I've got some leaves, and I've got some, not sand dollars, starfish, like little bitty starfish. I actually cut several colors of the starfish, so I might use a different color, we'll see, but I'm going to put these in my little bowl right here, because I wanted to be prepared. Okay, so it's a lemon lime twist card base. I'm going to fold that in half. Our Summer Splash panel, actually, here's a little secret. The paper is actually, excuse me, is actually Summer Splash. This is how much Summer Splash paper I had. So I'm going to substitute Calypso Coral, oh my goodness, Coastal Cabana on this one, just because I'm not using any of the designer series paper, so it doesn't have to match exactly. Because this one is just some die cuts and stamping, so we can do this. However, but my paper order is actually coming tomorrow, which reminds me, cardstock prices are going up, which is very sad. So if you are running low on any color of cardstock, make sure that you get that ordered sooner than later, because the current price is $11.50 and it's going up to $14 here in the United States. So that's an extra $2.50 for a package of cardstock. So if you bought 4 packages, really you're going to get one. It's like you're getting one free compared to what you'd spend in the after the new catalog goes live. So, all right, so I've got my waves. You can see the white waves, except I got distracted. I'm going to take my Summer Splash, and I'm going to put some color on there. I should have done that before I glued it down. Oh, you know what? I have an extra one. Let's do this. All right, so I'm going to take my blending brush. I'm going to rub it on my ink pad. And I'm just going to color those waves. Sorry, it's going to be a little wiggly for a minute. I'm just going to color kind of this corner just to give some interest to our waves. There we go. I probably could have done that while it was attached, but I thought better to just, there we go. Better safe than sorry. All right, doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover up a lot of that. We just wanted some color. Okay, I'm going to attach this piece. And again, it's pretty flat. There's a lot of flat space on the back, so it can pretty easily attach. Okay, now we can attach that to the card front. Not sure why my camera is so far out, because it is sitting in the same exact spot that it normally is. But I look like I'm zoomed out. hopefully you can see everything that I'm doing here. Nope. All right, now I'm going to put the weeds on. I've got a couple, I've got 3. There's actually 2 different sizes. There's a small and a large, and I'm gonna mix and match. I'm gonna use my liquid glue, and I'm just gonna start from maybe kind of in the middle here. Just a little bit of liquid glue. Doesn't take, let me make sure I've got it on the back. Doesn't take a whole lot. I'm not gonna put large pieces of glue. I'm just gonna put some dots. And I'm not gonna put it all the way at the top because I want it to look like it's flowing a little bit. So we want our seaweed to flow. And then let's go ahead and put this guy down. We'll put him over the top so you won't even be able to see the bottom of that guy. And again, I'm gonna put some drops of glue just in the bigger spots of the back of the seaweed. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And it's gonna be covered and there'll be some dimensionals on it, so I think it should hold well enough. Doesn't have to be straight because you know that nothing grows straight, right? And then we'll put in a couple of small weeds. Let's see, let's go this way. And then the other one. And then our little crab guy, go. Now, we can do one of 2 things here. My crab goes there. Or my other piece of seaweed. Now my crab, I'm gonna put him right on the top. I have cut a banner, because we can't really stamp on this. I've cut a banner where I was gonna do hello friend. Or, it'll look like this. Okay, it would look like this. Probably should have put my guy a little lower, but that's okay. But, if you want to, and maybe we'll do this one a little bit differently. We'll just let the seaweed and oh, we could do 2 crabs. Let me put 2 crabs on this one. That'll be fun. Well, I've got 2 crabs. How about that? They can be a little more visible. And these I cut from the design. Oh, this one I stamped. This one I cut from the designer series paper. So they're a little different. Let's put some dimensionals on the back of them, and we're just gonna put our words on the inside. Just to make it different. Either is right, either there's no right or wrong. It's just different. There's usually a fix for most everything that you mess up. Sometimes it's easier than others, but there's usually some sort of fix. All right, let's see. Our dimensional bags. This week I don't know which way I'm going to put those yet. Monday night I had my online fun fold class, and I will show you that. I'll show you a card from that in just a little bit. How about like that? There we go. Now we can put a couple of starfish. Let's add a couple of starfish to our guys, around our guys. Let's do this one's pool party. Now the dimensionals might be kind of hard because these little guys are tiny. But we can cut a dimensional in half. Like we are gonna cut the mini dimensionals in half, which is kind of crazy. We're gonna do it. Anyway, I had my fun fold class on Monday for those who spent $50 or who are on my team, and I think it was a super fun fold. So my next fun fold class will be at the end of April. So if you spent $50 in March, you can look for that coming in the mail. But if you spend $50 in April, then you will get the classes actually in May. All right, what do you think? One more maybe? One more? I'm gonna do another peach one. So that's a fun bonus when you get in a little extra for shopping. Coming the middle of April, and I don't want to get everybody confused already, but coming in the middle of April, there will be new customer rewards. So if you are shopping online, then you would get 10% back on any order that is over $20. So if you spend $20, you'd get $2 to use on your next purchase. If you spent, I have to stop and think, $30, it'd be $3. So it would just, and you can bank it. You don't have to use it right away. It's on your next order. And so instead of having hostess rewards, there will be customer rewards, which is an exciting thing. And we'll talk more about that later. But you know what? Let's put some seaweed on the inside here really quick while we're making seaweed. Just for fun. And since it's berry burst on this one, I'm going to make a berry burst seaweed to go on the inside. Okay. Then we need our hello friend. Oops, I almost put the wrong thing. And I'm going to do that in berry burst. And I'm going to put it on the inside with this one. I'm just going to put that toward the top. Hopefully my camera gets right in the way. It's a little bit annoying, actually. There we go. All right, when you stamp, do you stand above your card or do you sit? If you're making cards, does anybody have one particular way? I wish I had a stool. I would like to have a stool so that I could be a little bit higher, especially when I do videos. Okay, hello friend. I'm going to set this one aside as well, and we're going to hope for the best that I can find my gems. I'm not sure what happened to those. All right, so we're going to go for card number 3. This one is pink. Got a bright pink card base, Melon Mambo. And again, I'm going to use the Stylish Shapes dies because they are amazing. Now this one I do like a standing desk. That would be helpful. I don't know if I could get all my paraphernalia around on my desk here though, because when I do this, it's a little bit crazy. So I've got that might be an option actually. I need like the whole dining room table to spread everything out, but I need like counter height, I think. All right, so I have 2 different pieces of seaweed. I have a pool party piece and I have a summer splash piece. I'm not sure yet which piece I want to put, and so if you have an opinion, you can let me know. Actually, let me show you this one. This one is the darker. It's the summer splash. Okay, I'm going to set that aside and you can see what we actually, what they'll look like side by side. But one of my favorite things in the dies is this little squiggle, and it makes it look like waves. And so I'm going to attach that at the top and the bottom of my little white panel here. But I have cut this so that there will be a little bit. I cut lobsters too. I've got lots of lobsters. I die cut those again from the Designer Series paper. But I'm going to attach my paper, and I cut this at 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to put this at the top. Just a little bit of a white edge. I don't want a whole lot, just a little tiny edge so that there's a little bit of contrast with the pink. So it doesn't blend right onto that pink. And I'm going to put one at the bottom. Make sure you've got your squiggles going the same direction. I'm not sure if it would show all the way, but All right, and then I'm gonna put the starfish, which like I said, is my favorite. And the way I had it, it actually fits right in the middle. And a little secret, I decided this one was too long, and so I cut it and then I put it back together. So very easily hidden. No one is the wiser except that I just told you. All right, so we're gonna put that right in the middle. You could do it all the way. You could start top and go all the way down. I just decided to fill it in case I needed some space. Okay, so then we have our front panel. Now, we are either going to put a pool party weed, seaweed, and let's see, we can do a pink lobster, we can do a calypso coral lobster. This one is berry burst, this one is melon mambo. We can do whichever one of those, if anybody has a preference. I think I might go with the calypso coral one, just so it's a little bit different and stands out. And I'm going to do the same thing with my weed. Oh, you know what? I'll go with the light weed, and that way it's all, well, let's see. What do you think? Here's the dark, the summer splash. Here's the light. I actually think maybe the dark is a little more contrast. So we'll just stick with the dark. That's what I had last time. Thanks for playing along. Thanks for listening to me babble. It's great. Sometimes I shouldn't give myself options because then I confuse myself. All right, so we're gonna put our seaweed right on the front. And again, it's gonna look like, maybe I need to push that down a little more. It's gonna look like it's waving in the wind, and I'm gonna put my lobster right over the top of it, kind of like that. And there was an episode, actually, let's put the waves on. All right, I'm gonna put the waves on. Sometimes I change my mind midstream. Put the waves on. I literally cut these and then I cut with the scissors. You just need enough so that you can glue it. You want it to be able to be glued on. So I'm gonna put a little bitty line of glue. And the reason I use the green glue, the liquid glue, is because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Because if I use the regular adhesive, then sometimes that's bad. Because if I need to move something, then I can't. And the reason I'm putting the glue on the back of the white piece is so I can actually move the green piece if I need to. Okay, we'll do the same thing at the bottom. The piece that it cuts is too long, and that's designed that way. And so that way we can cut it off and trim it. But I'm going to try to line up, hopefully, pretty close so that my waves are the same on both sides. Okay, so we've got our waves on the top and the bottom, and we're going to take our paper snips, and I'm just going to trim those along the edge. Just like that. So then we've got the waves on the top and the bottom. Right, now we're going to put this piece on dimensionals on our card front. So let's do that. Just had a moment of panic. I thought there's a man walking in my front driveway, but my husband just went across the front driveway with gloves on. I'm not sure what he's doing, actually. It's probably better that I don't know. He's probably rescuing a bird. He's a bird man. Okay, so here's our little guy. We're going to put our lobster on. We're going to put him on with dimensionals also. I'm going to use the mini ones for that, so it's... I I literally just finished making these cards like 2 hours ago, and I'm not sure, seriously, where I put the gems. They're probably stuck to something. Like, I'm looking around my table here and they're not here. All right, so there's our lobster. Now, so the lobster, if you have been around a while, I'm not gonna say how long, but if you've been around a little bit, you probably had seen the show Friends in the 1990s. And there was a lobster episode when Phoebe said, "You're my lobster," because lobster's made for life. So I'm going to use the Love You stamp that's in this one for our little lobster guy. Stamp that right in the middle. This is where I need my gems, for real. Oh, that one's crooked. Good thing I made two. Safety first, always have an extra. There we go. All right, put that aside. We're gonna put that across our lobster. It's gonna go right across here. So I'm gonna put a dimensional on each end, and then it'll stick. I don't need the dimensional in the middle because that would make a hump over the other piece. So we're gonna put a dimensional on each end. Put that on. I'm just gonna go right across that lobster tail. You can go under that. All right, so there is our lobster. Go through all of my stuff one more time, really quick. I'm going to put my cards right here. And if you have a favorite, there's the no words, there's the words. That'll be filled in a little bit with some gems. But if you have a favorite, vote for your favorite while I look for my gems really quick. I cleared off my table, which is probably the problem. It's stuck. Well, they are not on the kitchen island. I am not sure. What in the world? All right, well, we are going to skip the gems, which makes me very sad, but I have a whole package of these gems that I had on the kitchen counter 2 hours ago. I moved everything to the living room, to my desk, and I can't find them. So unfortunately, I will have to add the gems at a later time, which is so frustrating. So I apologize that you won't get to see those until I post them, but I promise to post pictures later. Let me show you really quick. So at least 2 of these cards I will use for my product-based card class later in April, and I will post the information about that. Here's last month's fun fold for those who spent $50. This was the one we just did. It's a super fun, you can kind of see, thing. So it'll be something different. It'll be a different fun fold, and this is what we will do in April. So thank you for joining me today. Like I said, I promise that I will find some gems to add here because I think that'll make that really pop, and then we'll put the gems on the end of the Love You here, like this one. Actually, let me just show that one, and then this one doesn't have gems. This was actually a swap that I received, and I don't know who to give credit to because it didn't have a name on it. And then this one, oh, we can show the Calypso Coral gems. So thank you so much for watching today. I look forward to seeing you all next week on Wednesday at 1:30. I was gonna have to switch back and forth between 11:30 and 1:30, and that's a little too crazy for everybody. So just to make life easier, we're gonna have a late lunch. We're gonna start having late lunch at 1:30 on Wednesdays. So I will look forward to seeing you all next week, and hopefully you'll be back to stamp with me again. Have a great rest of your week.